Are you exhausted by constantly creating social media and trying to find the newest idea? Well, maybe we can help. Hi, I'm Kayla Swanson, and I am your host of the Profitable Salon podcast. And hanging out with me today is Jason Everett. What's up, Jason?
This guy. Yeah, excited to be on. Sorry to burst your eardrums, but I am kind of excited. And I kind of get burned out on creating social media content all the time. I'm like, I don't know, what the hell am I going to do next? Like it can be complicated, and I hope you don't get burned out by it. And if you're sweating bullets and you're like, please, Jason and Kayla, save me. You got two pretty rad people who create content all the time that hopefully will like breathe some life back into your social media hiccups if you're cool for that.
Yes. And I love when we're in the vein too. Like we're building our own business. We're trying to create content. Yeah. And so we constantly are having meetings, brainstorming what's next. How can we do it? How can we accomplish this? And so really we have spent you've spent much longer, years and years and years trying to beat the game.
Kayla just said, Jason, you're way older. Thank you.
Yeah, you old man.
You've definitely spent way more time. Yes, yeah. I know what you meant. Yes, I've spent a lot of time.
I meant more like I've only worked here for 3 years. You've owned the business for 16.
17
that kind of thing.
This year. 17 next month. 17.
Dang.
But yes,
wow.
I would just say this, man. As a business owner, creating social media it can be really obnoxious. And like I'm what's called a bridge generation, where like I was running a business pre-social media and after social media. So like I really did like grassroots. Whoa.
Whoa.
But like it's grassroots in the sense of, I like, knocked on doors and went and met with people and did all those things. And now
mailers.
It's also, yes, mailers, and did all the things that were very like old school version, but I've also done the new school version of those things. And so I bridged the gap between like, how do you create social media that attracts attention versus how do you just have a location that gets attention? And I think there's some really solid things that if social media is on your hit list of things to get better at, which by the way, it's not going anywhere, is that you deserve to be better at knowing where your clients are, what's going on, what are they looking for. And I really would love to give people, Kayla, today, some like cheat sheets and resources and things that they can do. Like I've got this really incredible resource I'd love to give out as today's podcast. It would just be like a bunch of at least 20, 30, 40 files they could watch, immediately duplicate with very little effort, and like, bam, they have their month's worth of social media. I'd love to do that for them.
Giving out freebies today, y'all.
Let's do it.
At the end of the podcast, we'll let you know. But I love what you just said about watch and duplicate, because it's like social media, like there's so much out there. It's like people are like, oh, it's too hard. I don't know how to think of anything. But there's like the evidence or the pathway or what you should be doing. It's kind of already out there. And you just got to go find it. So let's talk about that. When people are just like, they're just, so how do people, I feel like it's more of a perspective change instead of like seeing this big mountain to climb. Like, I don't know how the people are doing it. How do you start to like look at social media from a different lens? So you see it as something that it is easy to do actually.
Well, so let me talk about what's working and what's not working on social media right now that I think would be really helpful is like, think about what you're using social media for right now, like as a person. Like, are you using it as an escape? Are you like checking it kind of in your downtime in the evening? Like, I think social media initially was like pictures of my food, and then it moved into like really important things that I'm saying, and then it's like whatever. But like at the end of the day, think about this: people are sitting down like in the end of their night. Like, I don't know if you do this, Kayla, but like people are sitting down watching TV and their phones are out.
Oh yeah.
Right. So you're kind of watching TV in the background, and then you have your phone and you're like doing something primary and there's a secondary thing going on. So like, it's crazy to me that like there's two things going on, or people are like in the bathroom, like scrolling their social media or whatever else. Like it's kind of like, this sounds silly, but it's a secondary thing that's happening for you. I'm in line at DMV and I'm waiting in line and doing something else. So it's a secondary thing that you're kind of looking for an escape and a little bit of entertainment. You're not necessarily looking to be like, sale on Tuesday for this salon. Like, just be aware, man. People kind of are looking to be entertained first, and then they'll give you their time and attention for other things. So remember that if you're going to social media for entertainment, but then you're also going to social media to sell things, be aware that you need to be mindful of selling entertainment. And I know that sounds crazy, and like I'm fighting this one hard. Like, Kayla, you and your whole crew, I just got a whole bunch of videos today that I'm like, I don't know if I can share those videos. And like, like they're entertaining. I'm like, they're kind of entertaining. I literally showed them to some clients to make sure they weren't gonna be mad at me if I shared them. Like, this is just literally the other day. And And I was like, how would you position this so I don't piss off my corporate clients, but it still makes it entertaining? Like, I'm like, we got to figure this out. And I know I'm going to piss some people off. And in fact,
always do.
I was just telling you before we started the podcast, people are commenting. I have an ad out right now for one of my Unleash Human event. And like, it's a big personal development event. And people are just mean. They're just mean in comments and posts and like either on the comments or reporting back. And I'm like, it's like the grumpiest people you've ever met in line at DMV. They're all commenting on my post. And like, do you really want that as a salon owner? You're like, no, I just want a bunch of happy people ready to come in my salon and love us and tell us that we're pretty and like that we're good and that they just want to come in and book appointments. And I'm like, well, that's not what you get if you just start to get more attention on social media. Yeah. So let me talk about what I have, because I know we've talked a lot of context here, but like, can we talk about what exists and what I think would be like the easiest way for you to go from like, I'm clueless to I'm doing the right thing. Would that be all right?
Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
So we now live in this world that is very, I'm going to call it the TikTok video generation. Nice. And this TikTok generation, TikTok did some very interesting things. Is it made it so that it became cool to copy. Like, I know it sounds a little weird, but like in 5 years ago, if you would have said, hey, I'm going to grab somebody's quote and just post it online without their name attached to it, people would be like, what the hell? Why are you doing that? Like, you plagiarizing, whatever. No, and by the way, I don't do that. I really do the best I can to only use my quotes on things like that. But you know, sometimes I don't know if somebody else quoted it or I have a similar version, whatever. But what I want you to hear is that because it was like, hey, I can do a TikTok dance. Stay with me. You don't have to do a TikTok dance, but like, I can do a TikTok dance and Kayla can do a TikTok dance to the same song. I can have that post, Kayla can have that post, and both of us have an equal opportunity to do our version of that thing. And so what I want you to hear is when TikTok came out, and by the way, you don't have to be on TikTok for this, Instagram was like, good idea, we'll take it. And then YouTube was like, great idea, we'll take it. So like YouTube is copying, Instagram is copying, and even Facebook is copying, which I know Instagram and Facebook are kind of the same thing, but still a little different. But the idea is they're like, hey, we're still copying this idea of these really short form, entertaining, snackable type content pieces. You know, my kids, when we have like 5 minutes extra dropping them off at school, they want to look up like funny cat videos or whatever. And I'm like, they just want a little couple little snacks, a little dopamine snacks of like a funny cat video. So the reason why I'm bringing that up, I know it's very entertaining, right? Snackable, funny cat videos.
But TikTok's the new charcuterie board.
Yeah, that's really funny. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is, as you're scrolling through your social media, and yours probably doesn't look like mine because you don't look at it like I do, but I want you to start looking at social media like I do. When I'm going through TikTok or when I'm going through Instagram, one of the first things that I do is if I see a video, I immediately think, could I do that? Like, is that easy? Is it really complicated? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm gonna pull up some videos right now. So what I do is I'm just gonna explain this. I know a lot of you guys are listening. You're not like watching this thing. And if you're watching, then great. I'm gonna start over. Sorry, it's like editing a video in real time here that I was in the middle of. But I go into my Instagram, and if you click on the little hamburger menu, it's the little three lines in the top right. Yum. That's called a hamburger, by the way.
Again, a snack.
Snackable hamburgers. And you go to your saved posts. You've probably been saving posts. If you don't know how to do that, you just hit the little button as you're scrolling through, hit the little dots, and it'll say, do you want to save this? I have a whole file on here, and I'll hold it up so you guys can see it. I have a whole file of salon owner reels to duplicate, and I'm giving you this file. I don't know. We'll call it like Steal My Reels or something like that, but just say Reels, Steal My Reels.
Nice. We were trying to name that earlier.
I don't know if that's the right name, but we'll go with that. Steal My Reels. Awesome. My reel steals. Real steals on my reels. So here's the deal. Okay. Is that I saw this thing, and you won't be able to hear it, but I'll hold it up. Like, this is this one video, and it's like a salon owner coming into the salon, and then the staff member coming into the salon, and it's like, I'm Chloe, I'm Sarah, I'm Michelle, and it's like, here's why I'm cool, and it just has a couple little facts. Like this one says, what does this one say? It says, I'm Nikita, I'm a stylist, I'm a West Coast girl, and I love red. I'm like, okay, whatever. But it's a fun way to like introduce your whole team. Now, if you're like, I have 55 team members, then this might be a little hard. But maybe you're like, hey, I'm going to feature my 5 top stylists. I'm going to feature my nail techs today. I'm going to feature my stylist or my massage therapist. Or like, here's our massage crew. And they're all like doing something silly and like, you know, putting away a towel or something. And then they get freeze frame. So I have this whole list of files of like, what would you do to create these? And this is one of my favorite ones. I'll show you this one. there's files that other salons are doing. Like I'll show you this other one. I think it's pretty funny. It says salons on a Friday night, and they like turn their salon into like a DJ nightclub, and they're like even spraying hairspray in the air like aerosol. It's very funny. But like you could totally do this reel, you guys. Watch this video if you're listening. I'm sorry, just listen to it. But it's
I'll
like
put the links in the description.
Yeah, like we'll put these up here. Look at this. She's like DJing with kinds of color, and then she's spraying hairspray, and people are down. And the sign says like book now for your appointments. And it's just this funny, like
it's entertaining.
Right? It's just this like little like playlist. And like it's just a fun entertainment post, but they're saying like book now, we got it. And they have like 3,000 likes on this post, and they've got all these comments, and they're just screwing around. They're having a good time. They're being fun, they're being entertaining, and they've got your attention, right?
Yes.
And so what I just would say about these as you're looking at them, and again, if you guys want that cheat sheet, just say reels in the comments and we'll get you the reel cheat sheet. And you can steal my reels. I still don't know how to put that into a thing. But that's one, is like find other salons that are doing cool things. And like, if you want to, if you really feel weird about it, you can tag them and be like, hey, thanks so-and-so salon for this inspirational post. We did a version of your post and it's fun. Like you feel free to tag them. You can also just totally rip it off. Like in it, I think that's totally fine on social media, by the way, if you're like, hey, we did it. I've seen that happen a lot. If you want to give them credit or tag them in it or send it and say like, hey, thanks for the inspiration. I appreciate you guys. Fine. Or tag them in the comments and be like, yours was so fun. We want to do one too. All good. Don't be weird about it. Just get it done. But there's also videos like this one. This was this is a clothing store that did a video where they like grabbed a paper airplane and threw it, and they did like a tour through their whole store. So I'll hold this one up too. It's like grab this thing, and it's giving them a tour through their entire business. It's like by the shoes and by the purses. But if you have a retail area where this goes around, like look, there's staff doing stuff. Somebody's just holding a paper airplane, and it was cut together. But then it says on the thing, it says we're waiting for you. Like that's what it says on the paper airplane when they open it back up again, right? It's like that paper airplane opened up into something. And so there's two things. This is how I tend to look at it. If you want to copy another salon, that's like level one, pretty easy. Just do what they did and hopefully you can figure it out. Now, if you're like, Jason, I can't edit that video. I'm like, look, all these girls are doing is they're literally to one shot. They just set up their stuff like a DJ booth. They put color bowls on her ears like headphones. It's pretty freaking hilarious, right? And they have spray cans. I'm pretty confident all you can do that. Like every single one of you, you have the supplies, you have the people.
The 3 cents in aerosol.
And I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that she's got her sunglasses out, and you could do that video. That'd be a super easy one to duplicate.
Ready to transform your business and improve your salon's profitability? With Lonza's 3-in-1 technology and intermixable shades, your hair color inventory is streamlined with limitless creativity behind the chair. Click the link below to unveil the secret to salon success.
Are you ready to increase your retention and revenue and convert website traffic to clients? Then you're ready for Maya. Maya creates better business relationships by pairing the right clients with the right beauty professionals. Use promo code HPSA for your first 2 months free. Visit joinmaya.com to get started.
We're Forest, born on the salon floor and built for and by hair and beauty professionals like you. Forest is your marketing, your reporting, your reputation management. You need one easy-to-use system that does it all. Forest. Together, we grow.
Now, if you're like, well, this other one's a little harder because it's, it's got, I don't know why I'm talking like this other one's harder. But like the idea of this paper airplane, when you're like, I don't know how to shoot it because it got clips and edits and like it's really well shot and like, I don't know how to do that, then don't do that one. That's fine. Yeah. But you might be able to hand it to somebody on your team, be like, hey, here's my list of inspo. And by the way, when you save on Instagram, when you save all of those reels, what ends up happening is you can do a collaborative. Like Kayla and I can share a batch. So Kayla can add to it. I can add to it. And then when we sit down and go, hey, we're going to play around for a little while on social media, we'll go and open up that set and be like, hey, here's 10 that I saved. Here's 10 that she saved. What can we do today? That one's pretty funny. What we need? Do we have all these supplies? Do we need some things? Or put somebody in charge of going and getting the supplies and then figure out what could work for you guys as well. So I hope this is helpful for you guys just to be like, okay, totally. These are some things, some ideas to steal with permission. If you want to go give them credit, you can. But what I was going to say about that airplane one is like, look, that was a clothing store. Nobody's going to be mad that you use that clothing store reel for your salon and you go through your boutique area and then you go by the color shampoo bowls and then you go by the color station and then you go by the back bar. Sorry, color, back bar, you get what I'm saying. Go by all those different things and then you just do your own video. It's designed to be inspiration so you make your own version. right?
And the likelihood of somebody having, like, even the one that you see, like, I'm going to copy this, the likelihood of somebody have already copied that or that wasn't their original version, it's huge. And then
Yeah,
once
I'm pretty
what you'll
sure
notice is you'll find
none
one.
of those are the original versions of what I saved.
Exactly.
Nobody was
In
like,
fact,
that
we
was their
saw
first
multiple
version.
of the same one.
Right,
Yes, exactly.
And that's where I said, like, in this TikTok world, this TikTok style world that we have, I think is very entertaining. I've seen saloners create this one a bunch, steal it. This is a gal who is being like held hostage to give a good testimonial. Have you seen this one?
It's funny.
They have like a hot curling iron and then some little, like shavers that are just
Shears,
chilling right there. Yeah, they have shears up against her neck. And she's like, I really had a good experience and they're very nice. You should definitely book an appointment. It's just funny, man. It's like, it's just a minute.
It's funny.
Duplicate it as
It's about
close
things
to
people
what it
can
is.
relate with.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like, that's funny. And just use somebody else's joke. Tell your version of it. Think about this. Like, how many knock-knock jokes have you retold? And do you ever credit the original knock-knock joke teller? Like, is there somebody running around being like, that chicken and egg joke was mine? You know what I mean? Like, my kids just pass the joke forward. The entertainment is valuable. It's created, it's art, and then it goes out and it becomes something new. So don't get too hung up on it. I think we're learning how to be better on social media. So if you want that reel sheet, just do me a favor and comment reels, and we'll give you our sheet on that. And I'd love to be able to kind of talk about next, Kayla, is like, how do you plan for time to do those things if that's possible?
Yes.
Because I think that's another one that people really have a hard time with.
Yeah, that too. And I think another little voice I want to get to later on is talking about, like, and I know if you're listening to this and you're like, well, my team doesn't want to do that.
Those
my
dirty
team
bastards.
they don't want to play out. They don't want to be a part of it. I can't get my team to do anything. And then we'll also talk about that later on, about like, how do you motivate your team, or how do you make it a fun thing that everybody wants to be a part of?
Well,
so let's,
you just said one really important thing there. You got to make it fun, man. Like, if it's not fun for them, like, damn it, guys, I need you to get more reels out. And they're like, how many back of heads can I possibly film for you? Like, leave me alone. But if you're like, hey, we've got a fun thing and we're going to spend a lunch break, or we're going to do whatever, or like, hey, when we close tonight, whoever wants to stick around, we're going to make some funny videos. And like, some of your team will be into it, and other team will be like, I'm out of here. And that's okay. It's totally fine. And by the way, that's just the culture of your business. It's okay for some people to not be in it. In our office, some people want to do it, some people don't care. And that's fine.
Right.
It's all good.
Right. And some people are like, nope, never put me on video. And we just know. And then you play with the people who are willing to play. And I think if you make it like a fun, interactive thing where it's like you compete and be like, hey, everyone brings ideas, we pick the top 5, and whoever gets the most views or gets the most interaction. And then everybody's a part of it and everybody's achieving something, and they get, their lunch paid for or whatever, to make it a fun game that everybody's showing up for. Everybody's watching to see, how many views do we have now? And like make it something exciting, because when you're playing that, I mean, people are on social media, people are in it all the time, and then to see you be able to like, I want to create that. And you will have people who want to be a part of it and don't.
And tie it back to them.
Yeah.
There was a gal, the salon I go to, she was doing awesome. She was making all these really funny videos for the salon. And I was like, her name is Jolene. And I was like, Jolene, like, dude, you are doing awesome with these posts, because they were funny as hell. And she was just having a good old time. And you know what? She started seeing more inquiries, more bookings, because her clients really loved them. And it was a reminder for her clients to book in on her schedule again. Totally. And then in addition to her clients loving them, new clients were finding out about her, and they were like, man, I'd love to work with a stylist like that. So she was getting, people were calling into the salon directly to find out about her, which, don't get me wrong, there's other entertainment purposes for that. But I think you really have to like tie in with your staff. They've created so many random posts on social media. They've done nothing. People are starting to get jaded by like, I put all that effort into it. Nothing happens. So you as a salon owner plus a stylist, everybody feels similarly,
Not to mention, like, I love what you just said about, it was making her current clients, like building your retention by like you having a culture of people staying connected. So when they show up, like, I saw your video, or I saw you guys, the culture of what the vibe here, like people stay because they feel a part of something now too. Be like, that's the salon I go to. And it's like curating a bigger space and a bigger, like, the retention will even grow up when you are being intentional. About
it's a hard one. I got to tell you, being on social media forever now, forever and a day, like 16, 17 years, like it is really weird to know that like social media is the amplification of my relationship with everybody. When I go to other events, like I was just at a friend's house and they were like, oh man, I saw you just did this and this and this and this. And I'm like, man, I haven't talked to that person in like 6 years, and like they know a lot about my life because they pay attention to me on social media. And I'm not saying I'm somebody to pay attention to on social media, but I just mean it from a framework of, it really does help me sustain relationships. And we can underestimate, like, my phone didn't ring 15 times. Like, how many clients would you lose if somebody else is competing for their attention? And I think those are such critical things that we take for granted sometimes.
Oh, totally. I mean, like even as you're listening to this, the holidays are coming up. Like getting even creative on as you're building out your holiday promotions and you're valuing up, not discounting down. Like you're doing these things, like being able to get creative on how you're sharing with the public that these things are coming up because there's
like sales or like figuring out some snow promotion or something where you throw some stuff. So let's talk about how to get this done, because I think if you motivating them is one thing, but then how do you get this accomplished?
Yeah.
And
how do you make the time?
Yeah. And we did something a while ago called the Social Media Play Day. And like, notice we called it Play Day, Social Media Play Day. But the way it works is like, if you've ever had your staff like moan and groan about coming in and doing it, it's probably because they felt like they had to do a lot of work and they were unprepared and they're not ready and all that stuff. So what if you just created one day, could be in a month, one day where you hire a professional videographer, professional photographer, or, your whatever son-in-law, daughter-in-law that's good at it that you're going to bring in, whatever. But they come in on a day. Maybe you have some guests lined up that are willing to play, that have got some great looks, great vibe, that you think are like ideal clients for your salon, that look the right part. You know what I mean? Because you've got clients that are like your exact right client fit, and you have some fringe ones. You want to bring in the ones that are the right fit, right? The right age, the right personality, the right whatever that you're going for. They're fun and silly and quirky and whatever else. And just tell them like, hey, would you be down? We're going to do a social media play day. Would you be willing to come in? I'll give you this free service, or I'll do whatever that day if you're willing to play with us on social media. Or if they're just like, and they might not even need that bribe. They might just be like, hey, we're doing a play day for the afternoon on the 23rd. And if you could make an appointment that day, I'd love to have you and put you on our social. And some people will just do it for free. Some people will do it for a bonus service. Like think of it like they add an aromatherapy or a hot towel service, or they add a chem system or another treatment into their service. And they'd be like, yeah, I'd be down to come and show up on social media for a free chem service. Like something like that could be added. Don't feel like you have to just completely give them a $500 value item in order for them to show up, because then you'll be like, but I'm just saying, like, know your audience, like know what they're willing to do. I mean, maybe just buy pizza for everybody, like whatever, but just know you don't have to bribe people with cash. It's just like sometimes people are just down to have fun. My favorite videos we ever put out are ones where we're just screwing around having a good time.
Oh, totally.
Right. And they're just fun
filming
ones.
it.
And you got to have the right personality to do that. I understand, but I think that's it. So if you want to access, we have a sheet called Social Media Play Day. Comment Play Day. I know I've done like 2 call to actions during this podcast, but like comment Play Day, and we'll send it to you, because it gives you a list of like how to prepare for that play day, what to do, what to tell your staff, how to get your guests motivated, like all those things. And I think it'll give you that real good framework on just how to start creating that content in a way that's fun. But if you don't have people who are good at filming, which by the way, we just film content on my iPhone, like get a good iPhone or a Samsung, Android, whatever, and do
Google Pixel.
Yeah, you get something else, Google Pixel, whatever you got, and like you can create great content from that. Don't get overwhelmed with like it has to be perfect lighting, it has to be all that stuff, and because
it doesn't.
Salon owners get so obsessed on image they won't take any action, and I would say that some action beats no action every day, and like get started. You can make it prettier as you go, but some people are just so worried about having the wrong thing out there,
Yeah.
That's what I would say beautiful. About that. Yeah. So grab those resources, man. I got tons of stuff for you today.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this, you're like, I can't comment anywhere. I will put our phone number in the description. You can text us, the play day or reels, and we will get you those resources as well, if that's a better thing, because we would love to share those with you.
Yeah. Or you can find us on this thing called social media, like TikTok,
like our
or
Instagram
or Facebook, or I don't know, LinkedIn. I don't know. Is anybody on LinkedIn still?
Yeah, I know.
Somewhere else?
I think
Zuckerberg
people.
on some. Yeah. Just kidding. MySpace.
Twitter.
Somebody's on MySpace still. Oh, poor MySpace.
I see. That's above me. I never had a MySpace.
It's okay.
But I also,
it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I still moved on. So that's awesome. So I love that that's so as people are listening to this, so you're listening to this, you're like, yes, that's all great. I'm still kind of freaking out. Little voices are coming in because it's a big game. And so I think people are overthinking of what it is. And so we're telling you that it's can be simpler. So Jason, what would you say to those people to just get the ball started? What would be like step 1 of like how to approach thinking of it as a simple process rather than this complicated thing that takes a lot of time?
Yes, I would say if you want to just get started, go look at our list, get the Reels list, and just look through them and find one really simple video to do, and just shoot one and put it up. And like, you're probably not going to die. Just shoot one and put it up. And like, I used to obsess, Kayla. Oh my gosh, I used to obsess like 16, 17 years ago when I started. I used to set up a studio in my garage. It would take like an hour and a half, and like me and a team would do all this stuff. We'd shoot like one video.
Oh.
And it would be hours and hours to shoot one video. And now we're pretty much set up to shoot videos anywhere, anytime, anyhow. And like, don't get me wrong, we have a studio to shoot in. Like, you know, everything's kind of set to be a studio around us all the time now. So it is much easier. But like, just don't be afraid. You can just step outside, like do the walking through the front door of your salon, like pick a really simple one that like has very limited editing to it. If you're like, I have to add all this other stuff and it makes it complicated, then don't do it, or do the simplest version of it possible. Toyota, the car company, has a process about their minimum viable product, and it's MVP, minimum viable product. And that process just means, what's the fastest way we could produce something to see if it works? Because a lot of people don't have that MVP sort of attitude. They're like, I want it to be perfect the first time, and I want it to go viral, and I want everybody to love it. I'm like, you're probably going to have to put out, you ready for this? 50 to 100 or 200 videos, and before you feel even good about it. Like Kayla and I were just talking about this. You've been doing the podcast now for probably 100 episodes or something, right? Yep. And like now it feels comfortable 100 episodes later. Like I remember when I shot my first 100 videos, like, or first 100 podcasts, like the first 25 were kind of rough. Like you need to get the reps in. And think about this. How many haircuts did you have to do before you got good at it? Like you got to do a lot. And so it's creating all those videos and putting in all that time. And I know everybody like, oh my God, why all that time? Just start with one. Start with one. Like don't try and jump the whole mountain. Just like pick up the one rock. And the one rock is one video. Post it and play and see what happens. And get someone in your team who's excited about it, who's going to have fun with you. And if you sit down with a friend, if like, I don't know about you, but like sometimes I can get overwhelmed if I sit by myself. So I always bring in a collaborator. Like I'll go grab Kayla and I'll be like, hey, let's look through these videos. And we do that often, right? I'll look in, I'll be like, hey, which one do you like on here? Oh, I like that one. That one's really funny. That was your voice. Oh, I like that one. And I'll be like, cool, sounds good. Yeah, I thought it was very accurate. But the idea is like, we'll just flip through and be like, yeah, that one sounds good. And then we'll pick that one and just run with it. And I think, you know, instead of being like, let's have a 10-hour meeting about it, just do it and see what happens.
Yeah, we plan and we have a short meeting to plan and pick one. We
and then we grab whatever
like,
items we need if we need it.
Yeah. And like you said earlier on Instagram, you have an ability to be able to share. Like we can save videos to the same shared folder. So I can see the ones that like, hey, these are really cool ideas. So when we come down to like plan, what are we going to film next? We go through our saved. Like, hey, these are the ones I sent, these are the ones you sent. Okay, let's pick the top 3. Let's go. Let's plan it, let's film it, and let's get it done. Sure. And commit to a period of time too. Like start with one video, but don't just start with one, let it go, and just be like, okay, I'm done. Just like commit to like, okay, I'm going to be
commit to like 10 or 20 videos. I mean, you really got to do it. It's so funny, Kayla. I have a good friend of mine. He just hit 1 million. I mean, you know who he is, the bodybuilder dude. Nice. He just had 1 million subs on his, or 1 million followers on Instagram.
Fun.
And what was really interesting is I was talking to him like, hey man, can I sit and have a prep meeting with you? And like, I want to make sure I get all this stuff right. And he literally sent me a message. He's like, hey bro, until you've done 20 videos off what I already told you, I'm not telling you anything else. And I'm like, oh,
nice. Love punch.
I know. And I was like, but he was not wrong. He's like, Jason, you have enough information to put out 20 videos. If you haven't put out 20 videos yet, don't call me. Yep. And I was like, damn it. Cause he's like, you're just going to ask me 1,000 questions that are irrelevant, and you'll learn more from putting those 20 videos out than an hour-long conversation with me. And I'm like, yeah.
Love
yeah. And I was like, that's real. And I think you guys will do the same thing. You're like, I just need to watch 20 more trainings on it. I just need to get this 6-week course. I just need to join this. I just need to join that. And then once I buy that viral post, whatever. No, we gave you the free resources. This podcast is free. Go start doing. That's my advice to you. Just do it, Nike. Not a paid for partner.
Because the salon, I mean, we are moving. Social media is such a big part of our life.
And it changes so fast. You guys got to get into it.
Oh, totally. Exactly. And then once you're into it, it keeps rolling. Well, that's all the time we have today. And so hopefully this is really helpful for you and that you got really inspired to just start and just get a part of something, post it out. Honestly, tag us. When you post your first video after watching this episode, please tag us so we can see it and comment it, and we'll love on it and we'll be your first view.
Yes.
And
we won't be those trolls on social media that say horrible things about you. We just literally will comment back. Like, please comment. Just literally tag us at High Performance Salon or tag me at Jason Everett. I would love to see it. Like, I get tagged in stuff all the time. I just like it, heart it, great job, thank you. If you're willing to tag me in it, I'd love to see it, just because it gives us some framework of like watching you guys learn and grow.
Yeah. So. And we're advocating for you, man. We want you to succeed and grow. And we know that social media is a huge part of the audience now. It's like, that's what's available for you. And if you're not utilizing it, then you are missing out on an opportunity to be able to utilize it to the way that you can.
You got it.
Thank you so much, Jason, for hanging out with
Heck
me today.
yeah.
Thank you for all of you listening. Get those free resources. The text number is in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, hi, and you can comment, and we will get those over to you. If you didn't even know that we post these on YouTube and you don't know what we look like or see our faces, go check out our YouTube channel. You can watch us hang out and laugh and do all those things. And we'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time on the Profitable Salon Owner Podcast.
Thanks, guys. You've been listening to the Profitable Salon Owner Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave us a review, and check us out at profitablesalon.com for more episodes, content, and to help you turn your salon into the business you've always dreamt of.